Hello, this is Shrugo with the Cardboard Barracks presenting a guide to success in SMITE with the new god Loki in the new game mode Arena. First thing you're going to do is put 1 point in a Vanish, 2 points in a Decoy, and then you're going to buy Heartseeker because in Arena mode you start off with 2,000 gold as opposed to in Conquest. Next, you're going to locate one of the 2 red buffs, one on either side of the arena, and you're going to want to take that, so you should start by throwing down a Decoy so that they don't damage you as much. Start hitting them, and then throw down another one once your cooldown completes to speed things up. With your new buff, you should get down back into the team fight, which should just be beginning. Throw down another decoy into a group of enemy minions to help your team gain the lead. Because arena mode isn't just about getting kills on enemy gods, but it's actually about reducing the enemy team's ticket count from 500 to 0, and killing minions is only one way to do that. Each time you kill a minion, you reduce their ticket count by 1. Each time you kill an enemy god, you reduce it by 5. And each time you allow one of your minions to make it to their portal, you reduce it by 1 once more. You're going to buy 1 level into Warrior Tabi because you're going to stagger that in between each item you build in this item build here. And that's because it's not necessarily that important to complete Warrior Tabi all at once in arena mode, because it's a bit easier to scale with everyone else and lead in terms of damage, and scale with them in terms of movement speed, and there are better ways to gain damage, such as building stacks with something like Devourer's Gloves, which is the next thing you'll be building. And stacks are very important, and since your first item is Heartseeker, you're going to want to play a little cautious because Loki is very squishy. So one of the best ways to do that is to just keep throwing out your decoy and kill minions early on without letting yourself die. So when you get enough gold, you want to go back, locate in the shop Devourer's Gloves, purchase that, and then get back out into the arena, and you should probably find the buff camp has regenerated any buffs that it's lost. The 3 important buffs are the red, white, and blue buffs for Loki. Red buff being the most important, blue buff being the least important out of those 3. Yellow buff and green buff are only useful in terms of denying them from the enemies, but it's not as big of a deal as actually acquiring the red buff and the white buff. Blue buff is simply nice for staying out there longer. Keep throwing out that decoy to eliminate those minions. It really is helpful. And then when you find a situation that presents itself, you can go ahead and kill them and use Vanish to get out of there. Vanish is more of an escape than a damage dealer or a stealth mechanism. So once you've finished Devourer's Gloves, you're going to buy 1 more level of Warrior Tabi. You can get out there, move a little bit faster, start building up your Devourer's Gloves stacks, throwing out more decoys. Decoy is very important in arena mode as Loki early on. Later game, it's a bit less important. You want to be cautious with your kills. You don't want to overexert yourself. Don't extend yourself into enemy territory too much. But when you see a situation where a god decides to do something a little silly and leave themselves rather open, you can go ahead and assassinate them and then get out of there as soon as possible, because you are an open target and you're probably making people mad. Get Golden Bow once you've got enough gold for that. That will help you eliminate minions a bit faster, especially when your decoy is down, because of that splash damage that it grants. Also, the movement speed addition to that is a nice little bonus. Allows you to get out there, help in team fights now that you should be decently high leveled now. You shouldn't have to worry as much about being super squishy or anything, because you should have a decent amount of movement speed and your abilities should be pretty useful to escape now. You still want to be somewhat wary because you can get a little greedy. Might get killed if you're not being careful. But if you're cautious, you should be just fine engaging. Otherwise, Loki wouldn't really be all that useful if you couldn't engage at all. Once you've got enough gold, go back to the shop, finish off your golden bow, and then you can finish off your warrior tabi as well. And you should be moving relatively quickly now, be able to take out minions in a flash. Carefully, you can sneak around obstacles that your enemies may try and put between you and them, just as you should be doing. And get out of there as soon as you start taking any damage, because that will add up. Especially with someone like Zeus on the enemy team, who can detonate their charges on you and bring you down to almost nothing. You're going to want to be returning very frequently to your home just to heal up real fast. Assassinate is a wonderful, wonderful ability. The range on it is incredible. It takes some training to get used to aiming that thing, but once you got it down, you won't miss all that much. You will miss sometimes, but at least it'll bring you out. Vanish, again, is not so much of a misdirection as much as it is a nice speed buff and a damage increase when you hit that enemy just after leaving Vanish. In fact, a couple times I've been using Vanish and have been noticed by the enemy and targeted immediately while in Vanish or whatever. So don't use Vanish and assume that you can get away from anything, or even that they won't see you coming. Next, you're gonna get Titan's Bane because it's really cheap and very nice and effective. And then you can start building Deathbringer because Loki's physical power, and any physical power build that doesn't have Deathbringer, it should probably be changed. And the amount of damage that you do as Loki once your build starts to get this near the end is just wonderful. With the addition of Deathbringer, you'll be hitting crits all the time, and your crits will get high by the end game when you'll have full stacks. You'll have your build completed, all that great stuff. Just keep taking every opportunity you can get, carefully and cautiously, but if you can get up to the enemy, you will easily destroy them, especially with help from your teammates. Loki really shines when he's with his team. So when you finish off Deathbringer, you can start working on maybe getting some ability items if you haven't already. One I recommend very much is Sprint, because Loki benefits greatly from movement speed, which is why so many of these items in this build have that included in their stat increases. The reason is because Loki utilizes that greatly for escape and closing in distance, because in tandem with Vanish, it provides a very great boost to your foot speed. And then if you've got all that stuff down, you should be succeeding greatly. Wonderful damage output you'll have with Loki, because not only do you hit hard each time you hit, but you hit pretty damn fast. Minions are like cupcakes to you. Unfortunately, there are many times when escape is pretty much impossible. You can get lucky sometimes, but if you don't have purification beads and Hades gets you in range with his ult, if your ultimate isn't up, you are dead meat, because Loki's only jump really is his teleport effect from Assassinate. Follow this guide and you should be doing great after a few rounds in Arena. I wish you the best of luck in your success. See you next time.